Right, hi everyone, and welcome back to another playthrough series. This is one I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I've never quite found the time to get round and do it. So I'm going to do it now. I'm really excited to do videos on this game because it's one of my favourite games. It's one of the first games I bought on the PlayStation 2. In fact, it was part of the reason that made me buy a PlayStation 2. Was because Final Fantasy at the time was Sony exclusive. So let me just explain quickly how these playthroughs are going to work. What I'm going to be doing is a playthrough of Final Fantasy X. I hope to do a playthrough of Final Fantasy X too, but that's going to be probably a few weeks in the future, maybe if not a few months. It's not really one of my favourites, but it does continue on the story. Right, and how this playthrough is going to work, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any sort of silly side quests straight off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the game as normal, as a normal person would, i.e. roughly, give or take, as I did the first time around. I'm going to build up the characters the way that any experienced RPG player would build them up. So, you know, if you've played RPG games for a while, you'll know, give or take, you'll know when something's coming up and things like that. Regardless of whether I've played this game before, all RPGs tend to work to the same format, so I'll use a bit of nous and a bit of wits and build things up when I need to. Also, what I'd like to say as well is that this game, the way I play through this game, is only going to apply to you if you've got the PlayStation 3 version of the HD Remaster or the European or international version of the original PlayStation 2 game. The way I play through, certain things will work and certain things won't, but everything that I can do in this game I can do in the original international version or European version of the PlayStation 2 game. This will not necessarily follow as a good playthrough guide if you've got the original PlayStation 2 version of the North American game, because there's bits missing, there's abilities you can't get, the sphere grid's different, etc, etc. Also, due to the way the PlayStation 4 HD Remaster has been programmed, certain aspects of the battle system won't work for you either, because the PlayStation 4 version has a different battle script, and certain attacks won't work, certain attacks will, and there's certain randomizers gone from the script, from the battle script as well, from the PlayStation 4 version, so it's not as random, arguably as clever as the one that was used in the original game. So basically, the walkthrough for this will work for the PlayStation 3 version of HD Remaster. It should work for the PSP version. I'm not certain on that, but I think so. It should also work on the original European version or the international version of the PlayStation 2 game. And there's really complicated reasons behind it, but that's basically the versions it will work for. What else before I start? Yeah, there are certain technical aspects which I'll explain in detail when I come to doing them, but basically I'm going to start a new game and I've created a new account on the PlayStation so that I can get the trophies as they come up as well. What else? Yeah, so basically I'm just going to play this through as I would any other RPG, despite I know what I'm doing a bit much on this game because I've played it through. It's got to be maybe 5 or 6 times already. In fact, if I had my PlayStation 2 hooked up and handy, I've got a save game on there which is something like 450 hours play on the one save on a memory card, where I literally did everything. I mean, I smashed this game to pieces. I had every ability for every character, I had every weapon done and powered up. I had every Blitzball technique for every Blitzball, for all the original 8 Blitzball players. I mean, I had everything. Literally lost hours and hours and hours of time. Right, so I don't think there's anything I've forgotten in this bit at the moment. So what I'm going to do, because it's quite boring just watching me talk, is I'm going to go into the game and we'll start off. Actually, before I do that, one other thing I did want to say was that I'm not going to be... Oops, screen's faded out. I'm not going to be using bookends like I normally do on playthroughs. Because of the way this game works and because it's an RPG, a lot of videos will just follow on. So while I might actually do certain areas as 3 or 4, you know, maybe up to 5 videos, they will just follow on. I will actually play through them and record them at the same time, and then just upload them as separate videos. Because some of the sections, I like to stick to about 40 minutes of video if I can, or less than, and some of the sections are longer than that, so they will cover multiple videos, and I won't be putting any bookends or my usual starting jingle on the videos, because I'm just going to play this as a follow-on, I think. Yeah, so let's get going with the new game like I said I was going to. Now, there are 2 sphere grids to use. There's the standard and the expert. I like to use the standard because although it's more rigid at the beginning, gives you slightly less flexibility on character development, it does actually have more sphere nodes. So that means when you come towards the end of the game that you can get a lot more, you can build your stats up to nearly maximum, which is what I'll intend to do in a much later video. So I will pick the standard, and I'll try not to talk through the cutscenes and things.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
Right, this is me, the main character. Now he's normally called Tidus or Tidus, depending on your pronunciation. I think it's supposed to be Tidus, but because of the way I speak, I've called him Tidus forever, and I don't intend to change. So what I am going to do is, you have an opportunity to change his name right at the very beginning of the game, because nobody actually mentions his name during the game. They just call him or something like that. So what I'm going to do, in order to differentiate my stuff from everyone else's on YouTube, is I'm going to have to talk to these people first, unless there's anything else to do. No, let's talk to these.
Can I have your autograph?
Of course.
Yeah, so I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to call him Onion. So there's my guy, Onion. What an unfortunate name. He might make you cry.
Good luck tonight!
Nothing to worry about. Oh, if I score a goal, I'll, do this. That will mean it was for you, okay? What seat?
Ace block in the front row! Fifth from the right!
Got it.
Okay. So, I know I shouldn't need to say spoiler alert in a playthrough stroke walkthrough for a game, but if I call him Onion and I say he might make you cry, he might not make you cry, but there are certain points in the game where, thanks to the dialogue, he really will make you cringe.
Can you sign this?
No prob.
Please?
Alrighty.
Me too!
Take it easy. Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
2, 3. Teach us how to blitz!
Hey, I got a game to play.
Then teach us after.
Maybe tonight, well,
You can't tonight.
I mean tomorrow.
Promise?
Promise.
Does look really good, actually, the HD remaster. Some of the characters look a bit strange when you've played it on the PlayStation 2, but if you'd never played the previous versions, you probably wouldn't notice. So they've really gone to work with his eyeliner, his guyliner in this game. But oh well.
I was in a coffee shop running away from home when I heard the news. Our hero, Jacked, gone. Vanished into thin air. My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad
I'm
he'd be.
going to talk to
Heck,
people
we
because
all
I'm
were
sure.
that day. Zanar, I says to myself, what are you thinking? I went running straight back home. We sat up talking about Jack all night.
I'm sure there's somebody I can.
My dad and I never
If I
talked
offer
so
them
much.
a ticket or something,
Whoa.
they give me
Didn't
some
mean to reminisce,
potions, I
folks.
think.
Anyway, 10 years later, the Jack Memorial Cup tournament
But then,
is today.
you know what it is, rules of
The two teams
RPGs,
that have
talk
won
to
through the
everyone, go
finals are,
everywhere.
Of course, the Abes from
Ah.
A East and the
Oh, dear.
Duggles from C South. I know there's a lot of people out there today
Get me
to
a
see the
ticket. Sure
star of
thing.
the Abes. In just 1 year, he's become
Yay,
the team's
potion.
#1 player. He's Jack's blood and the new hope of Blitzball. What kind of super play will he show us
American babes
today?
are counting on you.
Will we see his father's legendary shot? I don't think I'm the only one excited here, folks.
Okay, once I get into the stadium, there's a brilliant opening scene.
Sorry.
You get to see some Blitzball, which is like sort of water polo,
Let go of me.
really, but over the top water polo. Right, so, disaster. What's happening? Let's find out. Just remember what this area looks like now.
What are you doing here?
I was waiting for you.
What are you talking about?
Metal run.
It begins.
What?
Don't cry.
Well, he's no creepier than any children usually in video games.
What the? Not this way!
Look. We called it Sin.
Sin?
Fucking things all happening.
Take it. A gift from Jekt.
My old man?
I hope you know how to use it. These ones don't matter. We cut through.
Right, so just attack. Let's see how many items I've got. 12 potions, 3 Phoenix Stones. So potions obviously heal me. Phoenix Stones will revive any character that's KO'd. So, just attack. Onion. Oh no, that was all. Onion.
Don't bother going after all of them. Cut the ones that matter and run.
That one. That one. And that one. Demi. That's a gravity attack, and you don't actually have to worry about it
Get
so
out of my
much.
town!
Some can't wait to die.
Yeah. So the Demi attack will only actually reduce your entire HP to 1. That's the maximum it can do. It can't take it any lower than 1. So there's not much point in healing here, but what I do get at the moment is, because Auron's overdrive gauge is full, you can see it's bright orange there, I can use his overdrive. Bushido and Dragon Fang. And Auron's overdrive requires a button press when it's active in order to get maximum effect, so I'm going to try that. And I can't remember what the sequence is, but it comes up on the screen luckily. So let's see. All enemies. There we are. Plenty of time to spare. That's dispatched all them, so the only thing I need to worry about is a Demi attack, which, like I said, can't kill me. It can only reduce my HP to 1, not to 0. I think it takes off half of what your current HP is, so yeah, it obviously can't take off anymore. You can't reduce 1 by half when it's dealing in whole numbers. because the way the math behind it works is if you reduce 1 to a half, then it gets rounded up anyway, so you reduce it to 0.5, which is then rounded up to 1, so that's how the maths behind the script works anyway. So everything's rounded up when it arrives at a half. Just keep attacking him and attacking him until all of those little spines on him have gone, and that should be enough hits. There we go, and he's done. Right, so let's follow Auron, and I'll use the save sphere, which are these white things here, or blue are they, I suppose, bluey white, and what this does is it helps you save your game, but what it also does is completely heal all damage, so I can't actually show you because I don't have a menu yet, but it heals all damage, so use them when you can.
What are you laughing at, old man? Lauren, let's get out of here!
We're expected.
Huh? Give me a break, man!
Looks bad, doesn't it? There's literally a bajillion zillion. How will I ever get through all these? I'll tell you what I can do actually. Is I will use my overdrive gauge in a minute. I'll save it a second because
this could be bad. That! Knock it down!
What?
Trust me, you'll see.
okay, so now I'll use my overdrive gauge. I don't know if it'll do enough damage to knock it down, but so basically when I use the swordplay for Onion, I can use Spiral Cut, which I have to hit the X button when, oh well, you'll see, I have to hit it in the middle of the gauge to get the best attack, so let's try and do that. Done it. Bit of a waste, but the more you use his overdrive gauge, the more techniques he gets, so it does work out in the end. I think maybe one more hit will do this. No, one more. Start to flicker. There we go. Ooh.
You are sure? This is it. This is your story. It all begins here.
Hey. Hey!
My old man?
Right. Ruined stadium. Let's see this figure here.
I thought about a lot of things. Like where I was, what I got myself into. I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy. I think I had a dream of being alone. I wanted someone, anyone beside me, so I didn't have to feel alone anymore.